Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Happy Tuesday. Had a nice, pretty relaxing weekend myself. Honestly, not bad at all. So I am just going to give everyone a minute or two to hop on. This is a super exciting live stream, and I'm doing something that I've never done before. Our topic today is how to use private money. What is private money? Who do you talk? Who do you raise it from? Um, all things raising private money. It is going to be a really key skill that you need in order to be a real estate investor. So I see lots of you jumping on. If you can, I use StreamYard to go live, and I can't see who is making what comments. So this is a super interactive session. Clicking this takes like 1 second. So yeah, live view, comment, show up on StreamYard. So if you can, just let us know who you are. That is fantastic. And let's hop into it. So like I said, this is something that I have never done before. I am going to open up a real life lesson in our 90-day challenge to buy your first rental. So we have a entire full built out lesson on how to raise private money, all the documents you need. And I'm going to open that up to you guys. So please let me know in the comments who you are. And if you've used private money before, where are you on your investing journey? Because even if you're watching this on the replay, I can come back and answer any of your questions. So truly, I want to know who I'm talking to so I can cater to, make sure that it's something that you need and that I'm speaking to you, right? So please let me know in the comments if you've raised private money in the past. Even if you haven't, let me know that. Don't make me talk to myself, you guys. Come on. Every time. Okay. This is Maria. Maria's never raised private money. Lizzie hasn't, but she's going to. She's got all the keys to success. Thank you guys. And let's go ahead and hop into. Oh, Megan says she hasn't raised private money yet. Same as Maria. Awesome, y'all. I think maybe it's a little delayed. So thank you so much for not making me talk to myself. Really appreciate it. Donna says, no, never use private money, only leveraging your own investments. And we're going to talk about leverage today. So this is perfect. All right. And everyone's here. I love it. Let's hop in. This is our Gamma. Can you guys see this? Okay, perfect. So this is actually the software that we use to run our 90-day challenge to buy your first rental. Week 1 is kickoff. Week 2 is the money. We're getting right into the money. And we're going to go over this exact lesson that our students get with you today. So let's look. This is our funding sources overview. Like I said, the ability to predictably raise money to purchase real estate will be your number one superpower. Number one. And I mean that. As soon as I was able to find a deal and know that I could raise money for it, I was able to really make confident offers. That's what it comes down to. Number one superpower, it is the reason that investors are paid well. You can pay someone to do all your construction. You can pay someone for property management. You can pay someone to do any and every single thing. Your superpower as an investor is learning to analyze deals and raise money. Okay. Other people's money. You've heard OPM. This, Donna, exactly, is leverage. We have the power of using other people's money to make a win-win situation that we can go out and buy real estate, right? So I call this, and I'm a very visual person and I teach very visually. So I call this the money store. I will have a deal come in and I go out to the money store and I'm like, okay, do I want to use my own money? That's imagine like an aisle that's on the top shelf. Maybe that's on the bottom shelf. That's not the one I want to use. Bottom shelf is my own money. Then we have, hard money options. We have some private money options. We have all these different options. So we're going to the money store and I am buying money. That's leverage. That's all that leverage is. Diversification, right, allows you to use your finite resources across multiple different assets. So I could take my 100K and do one project, or I could take my 100K as a 10% down payment and do 10 projects at the same time. Which do you think will get me further? Diversification and leverage. Clearly, these both lead to accelerated growth, okay? I'm not going to go over every single section here. There's a lot, but I do want to go over, so what is private money? Private money is essentially borrowing from an individual instead of a bank. We'll go over who all those individuals are and all that, but it's essentially borrowing directly from a person. Pros, potentially a lower interest rate. Kind of depends what you negotiate, depends on your credit and what a bank would give you, but a lot of times you can get a lower interest rate. Definitely more flexible terms because you're not bound to what the bank is willing to give. And it's relationship based. So you can build this relationship up very quickly. You can do it slower with what your lender is comfortable with. There's a lot more flexibility. Those are definitely some of the pros and that we find the most valuable. And then cons, okay, you're mixing business and personal relationships. And again, we'll look at who you could contact. So there is a chance that a relationship could go bad, right? Everything that we do here has some risk associated. If you think there's no risk, then that is going to, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So there is risk and we want to treat it very cautiously, especially when we're borrowing other people. Limited to your network and then some legal complexities, but it's really nothing that you can't handle with the help of an attorney or a title company. So let's see. Typically, your lender would be a lot of times in a second position. So if you are using private lender to fund your down payment, they would be in a second position. If your lender has enough money to actually fund the whole project themselves, then they could get first position. And all that means is once the property is sold or refinanced and that loan is paid off, the position is just the order of people who get paid off. First is paid off first, second, etc. All right, so that's kind of the overview. And then we're going to dig really, really deep into this raising private money section. So like I said, this is exactly what our students get inside of the 90-day challenge. We go over this face-to-face, group setting, and we go deep. And then there's homework associated. So we're teaching you everything involved with raising private money. The Holy Grail real estate investing, mostly because there's fewer restrictions and less paperwork. I can go to an established lender that I work with, shoot a text message with an address, maybe some photos, super high overview of the numbers of the project, and get an answer usually same day if it's something that they want to lend on or they have the ability to lend on. So that's really the power here. Is it's fast, it's relationship based. And then how does the process work? This is where everyone gets so overwhelmed. They're like, okay, well, Jessie, how do I do it? How do I raise private money? Just like you would do anything. So you need to get leads. Leads are just people who raise their hand, yes or maybe, that they would be interested in lending you money. So this could be a direct contact where you're actually reaching out to someone who has some dusty money sitting to the side. Or it could be social media. We have a whole section on social media I'll go into. But basically, someone says yes or maybe. Yeah, I would love to make double-digit returns on my 401k. Cool, great. Let's move on. So you're going to send them a pitch deck. I'm going to show you an example of this. It answers, some projects that you've done, your frequently asked questions, info about yourself, about how the process works. And then if they're interested, you go ahead and hop on a phone call and you ask any question, or you give them the opportunity to find out that you're legit and to ask any questions to like clear up anything. This is really important. A lot of times you really only need to do this one time. Sometimes people want to talk about every project. So it just kind of depends like what your lender is looking for. But basically, once they're like kind of on deck and you send them a project and then they can approve if that's something they want to move forward with. If it is and everyone agrees on the terms, you get the document signed and then, you own the property, right? The biggest hurdle is this win-win mindset. So many people, like our students, people in this community, myself, when I was first starting, said, well, who would want to lend to little old me? Why would someone want to lend me money? It's a win-win. They're not just giving money out of the goodness of their hearts. This is like they're earning money. You are going to the money store and you are spending your money to purchase their money. You are paying them interest in exchange for their capital, right? And a lot of times this is in the double digits, especially rates now. We are paying our lenders 10, depending on the project, maybe 12%. We have some that we've worked with a long time who are happy at 8%. There is a wide variety. So, but they're not doing it from the goodness of their heart. And this is where everyone gets tripped up. Drill this into your head and it will serve you well. It is a win-win. They are also getting something out of this relationship. Okay, so far so good. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I am going to answer questions at the end. So go ahead and throw them out now because I think there is a delay here. So yes, throw them out. If this is helpful, I'm going to keep going for you. So who to approach? Advantages and disadvantages to all sorts of different people. Friends and family, obviously more likely to trust you. But as we discussed, the con of private money is personal relationship and business. There always is risk. And if something goes wrong, that could damage that relationship. Business colleagues, they may not know you like a friend and family would, but they do have some level of professional respect for you. Again, same thing. Failure to repay could not only harm your relationship with them, but potentially your entire professional relationship. So we want to be really, really cautious. And then real estate investors, they understand the industry and the associated risk. You often don't have to explain the process of private money lending from the ground up because they kind of know how it works, but they may have a higher demand or a return because they kind of know more. And I'm not saying you take advantage of people who don't know more, but a lot of our lenders, we borrow and we lend, right? And someone could come to me and say, yeah, I'll do it, but it's going to be 14% and 2 points, whatever it is, because they know that that's what an investor will pay today. So that's kind of the downside of working with another investor, but typically the process is a lot easier with them. So then within these categories, who do you talk to? Older individuals. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Even if they have been saving a couple $100 a month in a 401k, in 20, 30, 40 years, that could be substantial amount of money. So they just have time on their side. High income, doctors, lawyers, engineers, a lot of times they are looking for places to place money and earn a high return. Business owners, maybe even someone who recently sold a business. And then friends of current investors. You guys, I'm about to share with you a secret that I kind of invented. I didn't invent it. I made it up. I made it up on the spot in a bit of a panic. So I was walking a property with the seller. We, for 4 years, did direct to seller marketing. I was walking a property and we were buying a $425,000 6-unit property from a, older gentleman. He loved the passive income, but he was tired of his residence, right? Distressed seller 101. We hear this all the time. And I blurted out, John, what are you going to do with all this money once we close on this property? And he was like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And had a brilliant idea. This was 2 years ago. He has been one of our top private lenders. The idea worked so well. Every time we gave a seller substantial proceeds, I always suggest, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what are you going to do with your proceeds? And you would be shocked at the amount of people who you already know they like passive income. They purchase real estate, right? They have rental properties because you're buying it from them, and they like the money coming in. So that's my little secret. Past sellers. Yeah, this does sound like classic Jesse. Thank you, Lizzie. I was just like, hey, what are you going to do with that cash? And it's worked out. And I've been pitching that to sellers for years. And honestly, people say yes. So yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That's exactly right. So that's my little bonus. And then you're going to say, well, okay, how do I find these people? The power of social media. You guys, you are all here on this live stream because I was in your face about come learn from me, come learn this process, join my Facebook group. Like, I put myself out there. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Does it get easier over time? Yes. But this is something you absolutely have to do. Do not make the assumption you know who wants to passively invest, because you do not know. You would be so shocked out there who has more money than you think. This was a big, big lesson for us. You can do a direct post, kind of explicit, like, hey, here's a project. This is what we're looking for. Or you can do something more indirect that just kind of sparks curiosity. These are just some different ideas on, what you could actually say. And like I said, I'm going to send this out to you so you guys will have access to all of this in writing. Initially, I was just going to send it to everyone live, but if you are watching the replay and you have made it this far, go ahead and comment and let me know that you want the handout. All of you who want the handout, let us know in the comments and Lizzie will send that over. Even if you're watching the replay and you made it this far, go ahead and comment handout and we will make sure to get this to you when we're all said and done, okay? But here's just some general ideas of what you could do on social media. It's so key to get out of your comfort zone. And then what happens if someone's interested? Like I said, you send over this investor pitch deck, and I'm going to show you some examples. This is something that we share with all of our students. It is a templated version that lets you put all of your own information, your pictures, your color, your branding, your experience, your projects. All of that lets you kind of put it in here yourself. But I wanted to touch on, this outlines the process for them. I wanted to touch on some of the frequently asked questions. So we have this in here. It explains what is private lending, how is the money used, are we really helping sellers? Why don't I go get a traditional loan? And so it kind of explains our buying strategy, some of their risks. Let me see. Yeah, when will I receive payments? Is there a guarantee? No. This is a huge take. Oh, wait. Y'all can't. Oh, my gosh, y'all. I'm so sorry. You couldn't see any of this. Real quick. So this is kind of what I was talking about. Y'all can see this now, right? Yes. I'm so sorry. Okay. So it's just a template. Like I said, you could add your colors, your own process, your own model, your own projects, all that. But I was down here in kind of the FAQ section. So there's 2 full pages. Like I said, what is lending? How can I pay such high returns? Is the IRS involved? Who buys insurance? What policy? This is going to proactively answer a lot of your investors' questions. So that way, when you hop on the phone with them, so we are here, you send the pitch deck. That way, when you hop on the phone, they already have a really good idea of kind of how the process works. Then all you have to do is answer follow-up and show that you're genuine and show that you're a real person. So you want to do that ahead of time. And then the legal document. So they say yes. They're like, okay, cool. This is a great project. I want to get involved. The returns sound amazing. What do you need? You need a promissory note and you need a mortgage. These are documents that we provide inside the 90-day challenge to our students. But if you don't have this, no problem. Your attorney through the title company can do it, or your personal attorney can do it. But basically, these are the key elements that you want to include. The promissory note is the document that outlines the interest rates, the mortgage amount, mortgage amount, the time frame, all of that, and it is on file internally between yourself and your lender, but it's not necessarily recorded against the property. So the mortgage is the recorded instrument that protects your lender. It's recorded with the county. If you ever go to sell or refinance this, they will be paid off in the order of lien position that they fall. Property taxes come first. If they're the first lender, they get paid after that. But the mortgage is the document that's really going to secure them. So these are kind of the two things you need if you get all the way to that step in the process. And like I said, we have some templates here. Tax implications. I am very, very clear with all of our lenders that they need to speak with their own CPA about their personal tax situation. I do not know their bracket. I don't necessarily know where the money's coming from. It could be a 401k, it could be an IRA, it could be cash, it could be, all sorts of different places. So we are very, very clear that I am not the one to provide this information. They should speak with their CPA. That's a CYA for sure. And then on your own taxes, you're going to be paying interest either monthly or at the end of the project to your lender. And you can write that off as, interest expense against your own personal taxes. And then, like I said, making payments, you can use Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. I really like Zelle because it can be automated. So typically, anytime we put a loan in place, I set up the automatic payment because we pay monthly a lot of the time. Or you could just pay at the end. It depends what you negotiate. But if you're paying monthly, I set it up on Zelle and I send them a screenshot of the recurring payment so that they know that the money's coming. So here we go. And then I know we had a question about how do they get paid off. So I am going to, let me stop sharing this. Okay. So I am going to the method that we use, the BRRRR method. I am keeping these properties as long-term rentals. I am buying using hard money or private money, right? In this scenario, I'm renovating it. I'm renting it. I'm refinancing it. That's the key point. So I'm either going to refinance, or if it's a rehab, I would sell the property. And at that time, my initial lenders are all paid off. So that's how they get paid back. Okay, so someone says, I don't understand. They lend you the money for your purchase. And when do they get their money back? So at the time of refi or sale. Typically, time frame wise, we are 6 to 8 months is what we like to, propose. And that's what's in all the paperwork. But if I pay it off early, then it's just per diem. So prorated for the amount of days that I own that I have their money. So let's do an example. I'm just going to pull up my calculator. Say I borrow, for the sake of math, $120,000. Okay. And let's say we borrow $100,000 and I am going to borrow it at 12%. And this is because there's 12 months in the year. So it makes it really easy. So 100K times 0.12, that's $12,000 for the entire year. So if I had their money for 365 days, I would owe them $12,000 in interest. But if I had it for 6 months, I would owe them $6,000 in interest. Okay. You can do it. It's typically done on a per day basis. You can count the days. I took out the loan on this day. I paid back the loan on this day. If it is, I'm going to pick a random number. If it's 200 days, to say 200 days divided by 365. So this gets you the daily rate, $32. Okay. And then say I had it, what did I say? 200 days So I owe them $6,575. That's how, when I went to the money store and I purchased their money, it cost me $6,000, $6,500 to borrow $120,000 for 200 days. That's how it is. It's seriously that simple. Okay, so someone is asking, I can't see who any of you are. I wish they would change this. A lot of people asking for the handout. That's awesome. Lizzie will definitely get you over these. Someone says they're working with a relative, hoping for $100K, no terms, only pay back what was borrowed. Okay, that is the benefit of private money. Could you imagine a bank giving you a 0 interest loan? Absolutely not. They would kick you right to the curb. So if you're, it's a personal relationship, if they'll do that, that's incredible. That's incredible. So we got the handout coming for a few. And then what do we have? How much would they make? Okay. Can you give an example of what happens if you want to buy an $80K house? So typically we like to borrow the purchase and the rehab. If the property was $80,000 and the rehab was $20,000, I would borrow all $100,000. That's pretty common. And I would do exactly what I just did. It's the exact same example. 100K, 100 times 0.12. Okay, so 12,000 for the whole year divided by 365. This is exactly what I just did. 32. And then times the number of days that you hold it. That's it. That's how much it would cost you. So Lizzie asked, would it, depend on a bunch of other factors? What's their interest rate? How long are you borrowing? Exactly. So it's the same formula over and over and over. You just plug in your personal situation. So someone asked, what if they only have 20K to invest? Is it worth it? They unlikely can make it very far on a full project. So they would not be the first position lender. If I had someone looking to invest $20,000, I would have them take a second position and fund the down payment. So we call that fund the gap. I would borrow majority from a hard money lender, which is a whole nother lesson that we have on how to use hard money. Who to use, what the terms look like, all that. So I would borrow, it comes out to, if you use hard money, it comes out to needing about 12 to 15% of the combined purchase and rehab and as the down payment. So if your total project, 80K purchase plus 20K rehab is 100, you're going to need about $12,000 to $15,000 down. If you have a private lender with limited capital, which is totally fine, I would bring them in second position to fund that down payment. So I have none of my own money. What that means is your holding costs, you're going to have a hard money loan and a private money loan. You're going to have both. 2 payments due at the time that you sorry, I'm trying to read all these comments. Someone's saying they're getting 100K inheritance. That's awesome. All right. Is this clear? Is this helpful? Refi, whoever said that. Thank you guys. Let me know if this is helpful. If this was, a good resource for you, comment whether you're live or watching the replay if you want the handout. And if you guys liked what you saw, that software that we use is called Gamma. That is like a super, super small snippet of everything that's included in the 90-day challenge. The next round starts on the 15th. So this coming Monday, we would love to have you. This is your opportunity to stop standing on the sidelines. Let someone who's been through all of this before, hop in and take you through the process step by step. Why reinvent the wheel when we've done it all before, over and over? All the resources, it's elaborate. And I love teaching this. So if any of you guys on here have been through the 90-day challenge and you would like to share your experience, please comment here. If you're like, Jesse, I'm so tired of just thinking about it and talking about it and listening to you and sitting on the sidelines, and this is it, this is my chance, please reach out to Lizzie. Comment here. Lizzie will reach out to you. We'll let you know kind of what's required. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to do a lot more lessons like this that are like practical, topic based, and have some written handouts that go along with it. So I hope to see you guys inside the challenge. See ya. Have a good week.